I have a secret that would make most people call social services. I love my son Caleb more than my own life. He's 7, he's autistic, and he is my entire world. But every morning, as I'm driving to a job I've hated for 3 years, I find myself looking at the concrete pillar of the overpass and thinking, is there more to life than this? I'm not planning a tragedy. I'm just a good mother who has reached her biological limit. If you've ever felt fine with the idea of an accident just to get a break, you aren't crazy. You're in the freeze zone, and we need to talk about how you got there. Depression was slowly eating me up, and I just allow it. It feels like you're stuck at quicksand and you just can't move. I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to graduate college at 22, but a positive test and a father who vanished into thin air turned my life into a 4-year uphill climb. I finished my degree 3 years late with Caleb on my hip. My parents didn't disown me, they just exited. They became distant observers to my struggle. As an introvert, I didn't have a tribe to catch me. I had a cubicle, a data entry job that I can't leave because Caleb's therapy is tied to my insurance. I am one paycheck away from a collapse, and I've been living in that one paycheck gap for 1,000 days. But here is the cognitive dissonance. Why do I have zero energy to wash a dish, but enough energy to worry about my boss firing me for 8 hours straight? This is where the world lies to you. They call this stress. It's not. It's a physiological trap called occupational entrapment. Your brain knows you have no choice, so it's trying to shut down the system to save power. You aren't lazy. You're a phone at 1% trying to run a heavy app. But the exhaustion isn't the scariest part. It's what happens when the exhaustion turns into a wish. I used to think I was just tired, just another adult complaining about work. But one day it hit me. I wasn't just tired, I was experiencing a triple threat collapse. The burnout, that's the job, the quiet dread that starts every Sunday at 2 p.m., the slow realization that you're trading pieces of your life just to pay rent. The anxiety, that's the risk. The fear of losing the only thing keeping everything together. It keeps your heart racing, even when your body feels like it's made of concrete. And then there's depression. Depression is the emergency brake. It shows up when anxiety becomes too loud to survive, when the mind decides the only way to keep going is to numb everything, even the parts that used to make you feel alive. I stopped trying to fix my life and started labeling it. For years, I treated every feeling like a personal failure. If I was exhausted, I told myself to push harder. If I felt numb, I told myself to be grateful. But the more I tried to fix everything, the more broken I felt. Then one day I asked a different question. What if nothing was broken? What if I was just mislabeling what was happening? So I tried something simple. Instead of blaming myself, I started naming the state I was in. And the moment I said it out loud, I'm not a bad mom. I'm in a burnout-induced depressive episode. Something unexpected happened. The shame died. And when shame dies, something small comes back. Energy, not a lot. Just enough to do one thing differently. Instead of trying to rebuild my entire life, I started reclaiming 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes where I wasn't an employee. 10 minutes where I wasn't a caregiver. 10 minutes where I didn't have to perform for anyone. For 10 minutes, I was just a person. And it sounds small, but here's the strange part most people don't realize. When your mind has been held hostage by stress and responsibility for months, 10 minutes isn't small. 10 minutes is the first crack in the wall. Because in a hostage situation, 10 minutes of freedom is a revolution, and revolutions rarely stay small. I'm still in the cage, I still don't have savings. I didn't escape the system. My life didn't suddenly become peaceful, but something important changed. The cage door opened, not because my job changed, because I figured out something most people never notice. The real problem wasn't the cage, it was the battery. The world drains it every day. Work drains it, responsibility drains it, fear drains it. And most people try to escape the cage without ever learning how to recharge the battery inside it. That's why they burn out again somewhere else. Here's the uncomfortable truth: most people think the solution is quitting their job, but that's a lie. Because if the battery is still broken, the dread just follows you to the next place. What changed for me wasn't my situation, it was the protocol I started using. 3 small steps that slowly shut down the spiral: the anxiety, the numbness, even those quiet thoughts about the guardrail. And no, it didn't require a new life. It started while I was still inside the same one. And to Caleb, you don't have the words to tell me you understand. And maybe you never will. For a long time, I thought I was failing you because I was tired. I thought my hollow heart made me a bad mother. I thought that if I couldn't give you a perfect, happy version of myself, I was just another person letting you down. But I realized that you don't need a superhero. You just need a mother who chooses to stay. Every time I chose to take another breath instead of wishing for the pause, that was for you. Every time I fixed the battery instead of resenting the cage, that was for you. You are the reason I learned to live inside my own mind again. You aren't the weight I carry, Caleb. You are the reason I'm strong enough to carry it. One day I'll find the words to tell you that you didn't just save my life, you gave me a reason to build a better one right here in the middle of the mess. Thank you, Caleb. Mommy will always be here for you.